program. It is called IB OEP. We launched it on 29 June and it's going to end this week on 15th August. It was a vigorous 7-week program. And um, all right, I think Dr. Shafiq started to share his video.
Okay, I stop at sharing.
Yeah, just a second, I'll share it again. Ji. So, Dr. Shafiq, this is an aerial overview of our campus, IBA. We are located in Karachi. We are one of the leading business schools in Pakistan. And IBA is known for its flagship programs like MBA, but we have also started offering different programs in the undergraduate level that include courses like accounting and finance and even arts. And for the postgraduate programs, we've also broadened our range. For CEDs, especially, just a second, yeah. This is CED, the Center for Entrepreneurial Development. This was established in 2010, and this was established so that so that a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship could be uh, encouraged in the youth, especially in Pakistan, because we noticed that there was a dire need for it. So CED tries to bridge that gap and tries to spread entrepreneurial values throughout Pakistan in different cities and towns, physically as well as virtually right now. This is one of our classrooms, and with the state of art infrastructure. The online entrepreneurship program is based on situation laws and it helps participants in understanding how they can grow and reach new heights with the limited resources that they have. The program is based on local and the international participants, and we are offering it in the basic and the advanced level. You are currently interacting with the advanced level participants, which are around 130 participants. So even if participants are not able to join your session right now, we will provide them with a recording of it. People from towns such as Wakand and Muzaffarabad are also reaching your session right now, in addition to people from cities such as Karachi, Lahore, and Multan. For the participants, this is Dr. Shafiq. I'm sure you can also see him on the screen. He has done his PhD from Australia and his master's from Germany. He has over 16 years of teaching experience in engineering and business colleges internationally. And he has a decade long of professional experiences with multinational organizations as well. And he has traveled almost for 3 hours to reach Karachi. And this is a picture of Riyadh, and it's very pretty, and a picture of his university. So, Dr. Shafiq, over to you.
Thank you again. Okay, guys, today actually, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa barik wasallam. Today we have very short session basically for this big concept, but I just tried to just give you some introductions and some practical experiences. So might it can help you in your whatever the workplaces you have, whatever the dreams you have. Once we call about quality, we always understand this means something is beautiful, but it does not mean quality. Something, whatever the appearance looks good, does not mean it has the quality. So normal my way of teaching is that I normally ask the questions from the students, then we discuss. But here I think we do not have this chance. So I will just say that just first I will go through the session, then we will have some questions. You can note down your questions, whatever you want to share or discuss with me. We will inshallah later on at the end of the session, we will discuss. Quality, once we think about quality, it doesn't mean that we just want to say anything we have, or we want to deliver services, or we want to provide some product to the market, okay, to the end users. It must conform to the specifications or our commitments. Simple definitions are always given that like fit for use. Very simple. Whatever we produce, whatever we deliver, whatever we discharge, it should actually fulfill the needs of our consumers or customers. So this is actually the main thing of the quality. Then it is okay, it can have more and more different levels. Like I normally give the example. Like the BMW cannot have the same price, whatever we have the lowest Suzuki or other models. It does mean there are different parameters of the quality that we have to look into, and that increase the value or add value in that product. So we are going to discuss later on. So another question comes, why we need to have the quality? There are a few things actually. If we do not focus in the start about quality, then what we will have, we will lose big revenues. We will have big disasters that can affect to the not only to the organizations, but it can also have the national disasters. So there are some actually, if you see, to understand why we have the quality, we can see something about big disasters to understand why quality happens like this. This is a small video I normally use to understand. These are two videos I was going to share with you people. First one was just cost of poor quality. That first incident in this one is Challenger. You know, Challenger, this NASA Challenger had a big disaster just after 73 seconds. If you go and type in the internet also cost of poor quality, you will find this video there. It is from the internet. So this was because of very small mistake by engineers. They could not predict once the environment will change. So this some special pressure will come to some spring. Okay, so those things, actually small mechanical components, can cause a big disaster to the whole nation. And the other one is actually also in this 3-4 incidents they have discussed. One is also regarding the Toyota company. Small actually in the engine has big disaster for the company and $1 billion loss. There are some other incidents also discussed in this one. So this means there are some small mistakes that happen from the people who are on the shop floor, or who are on direct on the actually in contact with making the design or assembling the design or testing the design. The other video, Deming Part 1, I encourage all of you people. These are series, 3 videos from Deming. Deming was guru of quality. This guy has big contribution to the quality, especially in Japanese quality, and reviving them after the Second World War, along with some other his American colleagues. And then later on, Americans actually they recognized his contributions and they brought him back to America. And then they have big actually his honor for him. And this guy was most expensive management consultant in the world of his time. So in the first part, in this Deming Part 1 series, you can watch this on the internet. In this one, they were showing that the Americans in 1980s, they were trying to break everything of Japanese. Like today, the scenario is today with the Chinese now. Because at that time, Japanese product has taken over the American market, and then they start losing jobs. For that reason, the population or the public was very frustrated that the same enemy is still there. So anyhow, this is just showing that a nation that can start again working and properly, they can even revive. And same stories is for the Germans. So they also revive themselves after Second World War. So there is no shortcut unless you work from minute details to improve your quality of your products and services. And not only this one, I can say the quality does mean that not only the product or service quality, the person who is handling the quality, this is most important. In these 2 videos, actually, the main thing is the people behind those products, services. So these people has ignored the main principles of the quality. So, so if the person is not good, actually there is a proverb in Arabic language, we call it Nazafa wa Nizama, Sifat al-Muslim. Actually, the cleanliness or whatever the quality and planning, everything to do with the planning is basically the most important or significant qualities of a Muslim. So if Muslim is not, or a person is not having his own quality, how he can introduce or integrate quality in the products and services. So this is actually the main theme. As I said in the start, that the quality does not mean whatever looks good is quality. As I given the definition first, very simple definition given by the quality gurus, that the capability reliability, safety, ergonomics, and cost effective. There are many dimensions of quality in the literature, but I summarize them in this way. Whatever you produce, it should be capable to deliver the intended purpose. If we have a pen or pencil or marker, if it does not actually helping you to write down at the right time, once you need it, doesn't mean it is not having any quality. So the basic thing is, the basic requirement is, it must suffice the need of the customer. So it must be capable to deliver whatever the intended purpose is for that product or even services. Second thing is, it should not only for short time, it should be reliable. If you buy something today, it should be reliable. And these are also basic quality of a Muslim, that we should not be only good for one time, or we should be good for one company, or we should be good at one place. No, we should be good for all, everywhere and with everybody, and we must be reliable. Third thing is, whatever you produce, whatever you deliver, whatever you discharge your services, it must be safe also for the people. Otherwise, it can have some, whatever the safety issues or whatever the occupational health and safety problems for the users or end users or consumers. So this is also one of the basic, safety is also one of the basic dimension of quality. Whenever we check any services or products, we have to see there that one also. Ergonomically means, if once you use this one, it should be comfortable for the people to use it. Let's suppose the mobile phone, if it is too big that you can't hold in your hand for a long time, it is not ergonomically designed. If you're sitting on a chair and you can't sit for a long time and you start back pain if you sit for a long time, this means it's not ergonomically designed. In other way around, that you do not have, the designer has not considered the human factors, human body dimensions in his design. Cost effective. It must be also, we are not making the things to put into the warehouses, so we must have to make them actually cost effective. Once we talk about quality systems, there are so many quality systems in the in practice today. We mostly know, you people already, either one way or the other wrong, you people have gone through ISO 9000 standards. ISO 9001 is dealing with the quality of the product and processes. 14,000 is dealing with the environment, and 18,000 also dealing with whatever we call it occupational health and safety. And further it is have changes. The other system is very popular to improve our product and services is called lean system or lean manufacturing. Six Sigma is a buzzword, everybody knows that, but it is very rigorous or breakthrough system. If you want to implement it, it's not so easy. And then they have combined both Lean and Six Sigma into the practices today, and it is called Lean Six Sigma. Anyhow, ISO 9000, we all know this one. This is basically a documentation process. It is the basic thing if any company, small or big, if they want to introduce actually quality in their products and they want to find out where is the problem, they must have this system. This means this system is basically introducing that each and every step in your organization, whatever you do, you must document it. Who is going to do what, how it is going to be done, okay, and how you're going to check it. So you are going to put these things, what, how, when, where, why, all these things in your documentation. And they have actually for the job process, they have for the shop also, they have for the management also, everything this proper complete document or quality manual. So if this is the missing thing in any company, so they cannot dream actually the big systems like Lean and Six Sigma or Kaizen and those things in their implementation of those systems. So this is the very basic and cornerstone that you should have. I have a small story actually. Once I joined in Australia, one university for my PhD. At that time, I was also trying to find out some consultancy work. So one company actually, they called me and they want to have me like a weekly basis, some consultancy for Six Sigma. And then what happens? They don't have even this ISO 9000. Once I start asking them questions, they could not answer me then. And then I told them, don't waste your time and don't waste my time. You first have to have introduced this one first in your processes, and then you should call me that if you want to implement that one. So my first actually focus is always in any company, you must document what you do and how you do, because that will be again checked. The main actually auditors, they come and they only check this thing. Another thing is in this one also in ISO 9000 series, we have 14,000 also. They call it 2015. This is the environmental management system. They want to have actually with the environmental, and these things are very common these days. Actually, the companies and even the countries, they have to follow their standard rules. Also 18,000, even 45,000, even now it came 50,000. So these things are all related with what we call is occupational health and safety. They have changed this one later on. And also we have 50,000 is now coming for the energy systems. How you actually check the quality of the energy system. Where are the inefficiencies in the energy system? Anyhow, the other system is second one, what we talk about, the lean. Okay. In the lean is, what does lean mean? We always look for, is there any inefficiencies? Is there any non-productive activity in our process? We have to be very vigilant in this area. Because if we small things we lose, let's suppose 10 rupees you lose every day. So you are going to lose how many? Per year. Okay, so if you lose actually small things, then you are going to start losing big things. We have to either eliminate them. If we are unable to eliminate this kind of waste or inefficiencies or non-productive things in our processes, then we must have to find out the way how we can minimize them. How we can minimize them. So this is actually lean. Lean is basically trying to find out the inefficiencies or non-productive things. So we are, mostly they call it how we can make it better and do more with minimum waste. Mean our productivity, if 95, we have to go to 96, 97, 98%. So we should have less and less efficiencies inefficiencies in our processes, and more we increase our profit margins. Then also coming, this most of the companies actually they have already, and in Six Sigma also we try to find out how we can figure out the variations. In Japanese systems we call them waste. In American or Western system, Six Sigma, we call it variation. Okay, Six Sigma means standard deviation. Yes.
Once again, most processes in North America are 95% waste. That much waste here?
Most processes in North America are 95% not waste. They have basically actually 5%, 95% they are controlling the waste.
Okay.
Because 95% basically what they said here, actually this is just from the other side, means that they are mostly, not only North American, most of our industry are operating at 3 Sigma.
Okay.
And 3 Sigma means we have nearly 5% waste. Okay, so this is this. Even once you go and statistical calculation, it is a big waste for the what we call volume production companies. It is a big loss. So anyhow, this one will come later. The largest production gains are made by reducing the waste. Actually, in this one, I can say to you, not only during the production phase, the companies who can reduce their design phase, once they want to have the new design, if they can reduce the design phase, they can also have a big profits. The biggest example is if you see the history, near history, in 2006, 7, 8, nobody can imagine that any company can come close to Nokia. Nokia was almost holding 40% of the world share in the semiconductor industry. And the other company was nearly a 20% share in the world. But they lost actually once the touch screen things came. Their design centers could not match, actually could not bring the product faster in the market because they could not reduce their design and fabrication and testing and all this period that they can come into the market first. So not only during the production, even in the design phase, conceptual design and then validating the designs and manufacturing and putting them into production and volume production, it takes time. And this time, if any company lose, again, they are out of the market. So this is actually, we have to control waste, not only during the production phases, we also, if some companies also having all the things doing together. So design phase is also very critical. Why we have to do? Because profit margins are shrinking everywhere. So we have to go back and try to find out that how we can improve our waste. We can actually reduce it, how we can minimize it. If we could not, means we are out of the market. History actually, Henry Ford is the very back, how he started that simple way. You can make it standard parts, so you do not have to have again and again for everything different parts. Make it smooth system so you can actually run it very more smoothly. And in Japanese, actually, if somebody have more interest in this area, he should study Japanese, what we call as Toyota production system. Most of the quality in practice today came from Toyota production system. Okay, and they have actually also this book about this one. These all philosophies came from Toyota production system. What are the ways actually we have to focus in our, does not mean these are all relating to your industry or your business, but we have to find out that how we can avoid any kind of physical injuries or that can stop our processes, or can our workers or labor can suffer. Anything that can lead to this direction, we have to try to minimize it or we have to eliminate it. And defects, whatever we produce, whether it is ready to ship into the market or it is not, we have to always consider that if it is not, and even we have to do the rework, it is a waste. We are losing our money. Whatever we make, it must be delivered to the consumer and must be sold. So without defects, defects again coming back to
वीडियो दिखा दी है जी, वीडियो दिखा चुके सर,
Dakshal what?
वीडियो दिखाई आपने सर,
वीडियो एक्चुअली दिखाई, लेकिन वो एक आवाज नहीं आ रही।
अच्छा अच्छा,
वीडियोस तो 3-4 मैं वीडियोस वो भेज दूंगा, मैं ये सारा पैकेज भेज दूंगा ताकि ये देख लें, और इनके लिंक्स ऑलरेडी हैं।
सर अभी किस स्लाइड से जाके मेरे बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल आ रहे हैं, और
बहुत थोड़ी मैं स्लाइड खत्म कर देता हूं क्योंकि जी वेस्ट है, उसके बाद स्लाइड्स का कोई मसला नहीं है। मेन दो और कॉन्सेप्ट है, देन वी वर गोइंग टू हैव द चैट सेशन। आई लाइक एक्चुअली जस्ट डिस्कशन सेशन। ओके,
सवाल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पूछना आपसे सर।
ओके, then we have to also, inventory does mean also waste for us, because as you hold your products into warehouses, you are losing money. Overproduction also not good, because if we do overproduction, we have to store it. Waiting times, even during our processes, if one machine is a bottleneck and we are waiting for the production, or even we have in the warehouses, we are waiting for the consumer, everywhere is a waste. Motion means whatever the traveling of your product during the process manufacturing from one machine to the other machine, or wherever you have more and more motions and you have more long times, it is also considered as waste. Transportation is also same way. Processing, if you are taking more time in processing. Value added streams, actually key principles in the lean is also value added, value stream, flow, pull. Any of these things I will just leave it. You people read, you people all understand this one. And if you want, we can discuss. Lean tools are basically value stream analysis. 5S. I have the video 5S also, but I don't know. Again, the problem is that we cannot watch it. I will do it. Let's see if you people can see this one.
वो बाद में इनको लिंक भेजना है।
Okay. Here is our 5S. Basically, this tool is, we must, whatever we do, actually, I also practice here in Saudi Arabia, some of my students who have their own factories. So I just asked them, once they came to me and I visited their factories, I told them, without doing anything else, you first have to start with the 5S. 5S means you sort the things, what you need, what you don't need. So properly sort them and then set them, organize them. Clean them, make it clear that what is where written or taken or stored. And safety, definitely you have to take and standardize them. Once you make the things together, clean, state them and put them in a proper organized way, then you also have to make it the same fashion every time. Whenever something have to pick up, it should be from the same location, always from the same location. Make it standard and then sustain it, keep it up for our. In this way, you can see everything is clear. There are very beautiful videos actually about BMW and Mercedes-Benz, and they have how their workflows are so clean with the 5S. You people must watch them to have clear idea. Whatever your business is, if you can start with this one, you can have big actually savings or rid of your waste or inefficiencies in your process. This is a very basic thing to start. Other things I will just leave it. Six Sigma, guys, maybe you people have many questions. Six Sigma basically is we call it a rigorous process. It is driven actually with the main statistical way, approach it. And then you have to have people who are qualified for that one. And main idea is that you have to improve your process until 99.99996%, means almost 100%. This means that your production or your services should having only 1 million. If you are producing 3.4%, 3.4 DPPM, we call it, must have only the chance that you can have almost perfection. They need it in this one. Six Sigma, everybody knows, but it is not easy to implement. Must have a proper trained team to take it into the practices. Lean Six Sigma, they brought it actually with the what we call is all the lean principles, value-added streams, and those value-added processes, and removing the waste with the Six Sigma practices, and then they call it all Lean Six Sigma. Today, most of the companies, they are trying to have Lean Six Sigma together into this one. As I said before, Six Sigma, we always try to reduce variation. Variation means, I can say, give simple example. Whatever our target is, we must be on target. If we are going away from our target, we are having big variation, standard deviation. What does mean that? Like a very big example, I always say, good example for a Muslim. If we can also pray anytime. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say no. Mawquta means you have fixed time. So if we, as much we go away from our fixed time, so we are losing, even we are maybe guilty. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the lesson that we should always try to be on target. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us 5 salat actually to make our life big planning to do everything accordingly. So this is actually the variation. And Lean, I already told you that it has many other tools and methods how we can eliminate or reduce waste. Anyhow, most important session is Q&A.
Okay.
And regarding some videos, I will actually send this to the screen, and then you people can share this. And there are so many other videos you people must watch to have simple concepts about how you can improve your, what we call is not only product quality, personal quality also. And nothing comes without hard effort. I normally say this, maybe Dr. Shahad always speak about apni duniya aap paida kar. I normally also take this, the Allama Iqbal's a very, very beautiful shape. Ishke butaan se haath utha, apni khudi mein doob ja. Naksho nagare dahar mein khoone jigar na karta. The meaning of all this is, don't see here and there, and don't actually try to, fall in love with the people and try to worship those people. No, this guy is good, that guy is good. No, you are good. You can do everything. But you have to do khune jigar na karta. Naksho nagare dahar mein, this beautiful word, where deceptions are everywhere. You have to work hard. You should not khune jigar na karta. Hard working, don't leave it. You have to do this. So you will actually achieve your goals, whatever you want. So this is a beautiful, actually, what we call as direction from our leaders.